Hello beautiful, and thank you for clicking on today's video. I think most of us would like to have an organized and tidy house, and I think even more of us would like to have an organized and tidy house that stays that way all of the time. As an organized person that loves helping people get and stay tidy and organized, today I wanted to share with you things that I think all organized people do to stay tidy and clean in their homes. Because in my opinion, it's not just something where you either are or you're not. You're either messy or you're tidy. I think it's a difference of systems that are put in place that make it so easy to stay organized that you just stay organized. So let's go ahead and get into the list. So number one on this list, if you are seeking organization tips, is probably one that you've heard before, but that is everything in your home needs to have a home, a place where it can be put away, a place where it can live when it's not in use. However, I do find that in all of the organizing videos that I've watched at least, people often miss something very important that goes hand in hand with this tip. And that is understanding that sometimes when life changes, things need to be reworked, reorganized, recategorized, and given new homes. Sometimes we bring new things into our house, sometimes we declutter things out of our house, and sometimes the organization that we've built unfortunately just ends up not working for either us or other members in our family. So yes, everything needs a home inside of your home, but also don't be afraid when life changes and seasons change to rework where those homes are in your home. Organized people tend to make time and place for this to occur. So me as an organized person, if I notice that something's not working, if the chips are constantly being left out on the counter, it's probably because the location where the chips are supposed to be put away is inconvenient in some way. So if you're noticing a certain area of your house or even certain items that aren't getting put away or are clutter catchers in some way, shape, or form, it's important to take that time to rework the system that you have so that it's just as easy to put things away as it is to leave them out. Number two is they create systems for the life that they live and not a fantasy life and not a Pinterest pretty life. In my life personally, there was a period of time where I was organizing according to Pinterest because I wanted every area of my house to be very aesthetic, even the closets where nobody ever sees inside of them. And I found that a huge issue with that is it was working against the grain of how I naturally put things away. I have ADHD and my husband is a man. So a lot of times when I had those cute little bins with those cute little lids and those cute little labels, that lid was enough resistance for both my husband and I, instead of putting the item back in the little bin that it had to go in, instead putting it on the side of the bin or on the counter or somewhere else inside the house. So I had to get realistic with me and my life and understand that the best organization for me and my husband, who are currently the only two people living in this house, is to organize with things that are completely bulletproof, easy to use. So in our life, that looks like organization bins with no lids. So it is just as easy to drop it in the bin as it is to leave it on the counter. This kind of ties into number one, like I was saying. Organized people make time to build organization systems that work for their reality, and they also tend to notice when things aren't working and try to rework them. So like I said before, if you build some sort of organization and it's not working for you or your family, you're not broken, you're not wrong, and it's not hopeless. Sometimes you just need to rework things a little bit to be more seamless for the people living in your household. Number three is going off the back of number two and is noticing clutter catchers and fixing them right away. Have you ever noticed a specific category or a specific location in your house just seems to accumulate clutter almost immediately after cleaning? That is usually because there's some sort of an issue with organization somewhere else. So if mail is piling up on your kitchen table, perhaps you need to have a drop site for it near your recycling bin where it can be attended to a little bit more quickly. Organized people not only notice clutter catchers, but they try to rework them in their house whenever possible to prevent them from existing in the first place. The solution here might come from doing a better nightly tidy and building that into your routine, creating more storage near the area where the clutter tends to build up so that it's easier to put it away. It might even just be that the bins where these items are supposed to end up just need to be labeled. Whatever it may be, organized people tend to not only notice clutter, but try to prevent it by all means necessary. So if you want to be an organized person, like I've been saying for every tip, rework, rethink, rebuild the space to be seamless. A personal example of this in my life is actually all of my dog's stuff by the back door. I noticed that all of his stuff that we would use to either play with him outside or take him outside, like his leash, a flashlight, all kinds of things like this, were sort of just piling up on the kitchen table because they didn't have anywhere to go that was near that space that they needed to go. Originally, I had all of these things upstairs in my linen closet for storage or by the front door where he's not currently going outside. So unfortunately, there was this clutter catch of dog stuff right on my kitchen table. And I noticed that that was a problem and then created a space for it in the area where it needed to exist. Because as we all know, if you need something by the back door, you're sure as heck not going to put it away upstairs every single time you're done using it. There needs to be a place for it to land by the back door where it needs to be used. So this is editing me because I did purchase a solution for all the dog crap on my table and my husband said it was ugly. So right now it's just corralled in a little basket, but it's still not really ideal. So I am coming up with a solution rather than already having one, but this is what it looks like. This is just the little basket of dog stuff. I eventually want to find something that's wall mounted. Number 4 is that they declutter often. This one doesn't really need too much of an explanation. Less stuff, less clutter, easier to clean, easier to keep tidy. We all know this. However, a really good tip for decluttering kind of consistently is to have a declutter catch bin somewhere near your back or front door where your car is. So it's just a little bin. I have mine in my garage, and as you're using things throughout the week or the month, if you notice that you don't need them anymore or you don't like them, as opposed to waiting to the end of the season to do a huge declutter of your house that may or may not actually happen, you just pick it up right then and there, walk it out to your bin, put it in your bin, and then when the bin is full, you take it to the donation center. This is a very easy way to stay organized because then you just don't have so much excess in your home that needs to be rehomed, reworked, reorganized to begin with. And number 5, on the same vein of number 4, is organized people tend to shop better. It is pretty hard to stay unorganized if you control the flow of things coming into your home. This goes hand in hand with minimalism, but if you prevent a lot of the impulse buys or free samples or flyers that you get just from day-to-day life from coming into your home to begin with, it's much easier to stay organized because then you don't need to find new homes for new things. You don't need to think about them just sitting on your counter. You don't need to then declutter them 2 weeks from now because it's never entered your house to begin with. Sometimes in life, these things are hard to control coming in, but even if you can just knock it down by like 30 or 40%, that's less than half, it is so much easier to keep your space clutter-free because you don't have clutter coming in from the front door all of the time. What I would recommend here, and what worked really well for me when I was sort of getting my don't buy this muscle stronger, is I would avoid stores that I knew were like trigger stores for me where I would impulse buy a lot of stuff. Number 1 on that list would be Target. I would also online shop because I think when you online shop, unless you're somebody who typically online browses, you typically type in the item that you need, add it to your cart, and then check out. So there's a lot less temptation of holding things in your hand, seeing them, wanting them, thinking about how you're going to use them in your house, and then impulse purchasing them. And once you get that sort of impulse purchase muscle a little bit stronger, then you can go out shopping and be a little bit more intentional with what you purchase. Another thing that can be helpful here is to put a 24-hour clock on all impulse purchases. So if there's something in the store that you see that you like, put it on hold for 24 hours and go back if it's really worth it for you to get. Or alternatively, what I do all the time, particularly on Amazon, is I will put it in my cart and then I will wait and wait and wait. And I would say 20 to 30% of the time it ends up being something that I didn't actually need and it gets taken out of my cart and I get to save the money and the space in my home. And that is going to be it for the things that I believe all organized people do. This is also stuff that if you are an unorganized person, you can implement to have your house run a little bit more smooth and clutter-free. If you found this list helpful, let me know in the comments down below by leaving a heart emoji. It'll also let me know that you got to the end of the video, and if you did, thank you so much. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already, and with all of that being said, I'll see you in a couple days with another video. Bye!